Hi guys, it's Phil. I wanted to do a video today on what's in my Alpine pack. I think it's a discussion that people don't really like to have, and I think it's an important one to think about. It's also something that when I first started out I didn't really have an idea. So I thought I'd go through the things that you can put in, the things that you probably don't need, and just generally give you some helpful advice. And it's a lovely day here in the lakes today. Don't know if you can see it very well. There we go. Right guys, so I thought the first thing I should do is probably just go through what I normally have with me. So here we have an Arc'teryx Alpha FL 30. This is my go-to bag. I've had it for a few years now. It's seen some abuse and it does the job really well. I really love this pack. And for almost everything I do, this is enough, or even sometimes too much. More recently, I'm onto two of these now, but I also have these Simond Cliff 20s. They're great little packs, and if you're doing a shorter day, they're definitely worth thinking of. We'll go over that in a bit. To start with, the Arc'teryx can hold everything you need. On the outside it can hold a pair of crampons really well, and it can hold up to 2 ice axes, technical or not. Just remember that you need to have a way of attaching at the bottom. It's got a rope strap, it can hold a 50-metre rope more than adequately. A lot of people don't like carrying these things on the outside of their bag, but on an Alpine route they're probably not going to be there for most of the day. This is just for the in-between moments and when you're first walking into a crowd. So, I like to carry this kind of axe. This is a AirTech Evo by Gravel. I like this one because I can put a slider on it, which gives me great use on steep ground. It's got a downward facing pick, which is great for arresting, but also plunges into snow really well. On easier routes, this is perfect. As I say, we've got the crampons off. People worry about these coming off. I wouldn't stress. So, at the top of my bag, I've always got my helmet. It's the first thing you're going to need if you get into a situation where you think you'll need it. You just want to be able to get it out, get it on your head straight away. This is a nice lightweight black diamond helmet, but there are plenty of others available. They're much cheaper as well. Going down into it, got a harness again. Next thing you're going to want, rack, which I've gone over in another video, and then after that water. So typically I'll probably carry 2 litres, maybe 1.5, often in a small bottle that I can put in my pocket like this, and a larger bottle that I can top up from. This type of bottle, as opposed to say a platypus system, is great because you can keep an eye on how much you're actually drinking. You also then don't want to carry too much. The downsides of rigid bottles are they take up a lot of room when they're empty, and they're not the lightest in the world. Nalgene's aren't exactly heavy though, so I like Nalgene's. I definitely go for the narrower tops because they're easier to drink, and when you're on the move or when you're up a cliff, a wide top bottle's harder to drink from. They are harder to fill, but yeah. I've never had any trouble filling these, so yeah. Next, as we go in, we'll start to get to things like warm layers. So I'll often carry, in a small bag like this, a hat that needs to go underneath your helmet, so something warm to keep your head warm. A sun type hat, so be it a peaked hat or a sun hat, and then a kind of medium pair of gloves. I love these Simond ones. They're dirt cheap. You trash gloves in the Alps and Scottish winter, so spending £15–20 on a pair of gloves that do the job well, that's an absolute bonus. The other thing that I keep in here is my pair of sunglasses. Absolutely critical if you're going to be on a glacier. You don't want to get snow blind. Good Cat 3 or 4 lenses are a must. Next thing to say is I'll often carry a second pair of gloves, be it the same warmth or warmer, I don't know, but it's very route specific. This is a nice pair of mountaineering gloves by Mountain Equipment. They're going to keep your hands warm and they're waterproof. Really important stuff. So I'll often carry that kind of stuff in the same bag, but I'll then also have a little emergency bag with me. In that will be a emergency foil blanket, but also my emergency gloves. So these are just waterproof pair of Gore-Tex mitts. They keep anything off, even when your hands have got wet. They're godsend. They're light, they weigh nothing, they're brilliant. Also in here I'll keep a buff. So this is a Montaigne buff, but it can be any type. It can be used as a hat, can be used as sun protection, can be used to turn a hat into a balaclava, or could just be used to keep your neck warm. Brilliant little piece of kit, worth having a look at, owning one. Into my emergency bag I always put my head torch, unless I'm starting out the day with the head torch on my head. It goes in there. So 350 lumen black diamond torch, really great. This turns night into day almost. I've done 10 abseils in a row off the Pisbadil with this on, and I never missed an abseil ring. Brilliant, brilliant thing. The thing you need to remember is it requires batteries. You've got to carry spares. I'll often carry a small head torch as a spare backup anyway. This little tiny black diamond only takes 2 batteries, it weighs nothing. It's as good as a spare pair of batteries, but I may carry them anyway. And then in here I'll also have some basic first aid stuff like some plasters, bandages and drugs. It's easy to get a headache up at altitude, not just because you're at altitude, but because you get dehydrated, so just remember that some paracetamol is a great thing to carry. Now, going on to clothing, what will I have in my bag? So I'll often carry, if I'm up high, Tarek's Alpha SV. It's a brilliant mountaineering jacket. I've had this one for years and it's starting to show the signs of its age. It's definitely starting to go, but a nice solid jacket that can stand up to weather is really important. You don't want to get cold, you need it to be helmet compatible, and you need to be able to move. Next in here for me is my mid layer. So I'll always have on a base layer types system, whether it be a warm one or a cool one, but a light mid layer between that and either a soft shell or a hard shell. Really, really useful. Needs to be able to breathe well. I've mentioned soft shell, so I will often be wearing a soft shell like this. This is a Rab soft shell, but if I'm not, that'll often be in my bag as well. However, a lot of days I'll be starting out wearing that anyway, that's why it's not in the bag. Waterproof trousers are an absolute must. Even if you're wearing a pair of soft shells, you still need a good strong hard shell. Now, in bad weather I might be wearing a bib like this one, or in better weather I might be wearing something less heavy. But these are Gore-Tex GTX, I think. It's something hard wearing and something a little bad weather. Now, I mentioned the gloves I like earlier, but in some of my videos you'll see me wearing these. These are a very thin soft shell glove made by Rab, and I absolutely love these. These are amazing. They're not warm though. As we get to the bottom of my bag, some friends, you'll find that I have a nice down jacket in there, and that's my final piece of warmth should push come to shove. Now, as you can see, that pack has nothing to it. It's absolutely thin, weighs nothing, and it's really solid. I have a spare watch on it, and I'll often be wearing a watch, although I'm not today, and that's just so I have the ability to keep track of time. Somewhere in there, I'll either be carrying a spare battery for my phone to back up my phone, or I'll have my phone in a battery case like this as well. That's not just because of the length of time I'm out for, but also because the cold, there's a helicopter now, will kill your phone battery. Oh yeah. Anyhow, in here, I've got my Arc'teryx something pack. I really like this. I've been climbing this a few times. Insert photo. And this does the same job as the Clear. It packs down smaller, it's not as comfy, but it definitely does the job well, and it's another pack to think about. This is only 18 litres compared to the Cliff's 20 though. Next thing to think about, if you're staying in a hut, remember your hut bag. It's a lot more expensive to borrow one every time you stay in a hut. Bobby bags. These are really useful. If there's 2 of you going, they pack down to nothing, they weigh nothing, and I would usually carry one of these instead of a bivvy bag if I was out with, say, my girlfriend. Okay. Last thing to say, I've mentioned all those heavy waterproofs, but in here I have a lightweight Arc'teryx pack light jacket, and similarly trousers by North Face. Much lighter, do the job just as well in the rain. So guys, I hope you find that useful for planning what you're going to pack on your next trip. I know that for me it was always a problem to know what to take and what not to take, and I thought I'd impart some of that knowledge that I've gained. Anyhow, such a good day, I think I should get out and do some walking.